Hey everybody, Brandon with Bearded CV82. So today we're coming at you with, this is kind of like a multi-stage video, if you will. It's going to be roughly a head-to-head with the Fluke 88.5 multimeter and how it compares to the Snap On Echo Delta Mic 525 Echo True RMS multimeter. Both of these are true RMS multimeters, and they're both fairly decent multimeters. I've got my preference of one versus the other. Then again, who doesn't? Either of these, depending on which one you personally would like to buy, I don't think you would be disappointed with either of them. I will say that they're both going to do what they're meant to do with some quite fair accuracy. Now, in addition to that, not only are we going head to head, but we're also going to be revisiting ignition coil. Well, the ignition coil along with the extension and troubleshooting for that, since I've got, something better than a GoPro mounted on my head here in front of me at the moment. And it'll also give you an idea on how these two react, one versus the other. So, kind of a double header. Let's have some fun and let's take a look a little bit closer at each of these items. We'll start off with the Fluke and we'll go to the Snap On. Alright, so the first thing about the Fluke. As you'll notice, a lot of people talk about these as well, are the leads. It's one of the first things. These are the drop-free style. These are the TL175. As you can tell, these are very awesome leads. Even the regular Fluke leads that you get that are about $15 or $20 a set are also pretty much a drop-free style. You just let them fall, tangle-free, however you want to put it. These in particular, very good. That's the style that mine came with, and yes, even though some of you know that I did get these replaced a little while ago, these leads, even though it's only been a couple months, are as old as these ones, which we'll get into here shortly. Of course, you've got all your functions on your Fluke: volts AC, volts DC, millivolts. Go through continuity. I always keep the tone turned off, I guess you could say, the trigger for the min-max. Also set all your min-max, auto holds, ranges. If you get a temperature probe, you can check that as well. The high res on this is the one thing where the Snap-on definitely has over it, as there's the high res, which it is nice, very clear, contrasted, especially if you're under a truck, for instance. It will shut off if it doesn't sense anything. There you go, just back to a regular LCD screen. But a couple different brightness levels. But it will shut off over time as well. Diode, milliamps, on down the line for checking amperage. Can hook up a separate coil to it, induction, regular, milliamp, microamps. That is a 400 milliamp fuse. That's 10 amp fused for those. Overall, past 6 years I've had this guy and can't complain one little bitty bit about it. It's yeah, it's awesome. All right, now that's just some of the regular features. Okay, Snap On. Like I said, they're test leads, which do work. They're just kind of a plain Jane test lead that comes with them. Oh, yeah. Before I get too far, cost on the 88.5 is shy of $400 to this day. Cost on this particular model the Echo Delta Mike 525 Echo. I think it's 250, 275-ish dollars maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below, please, guys. I know some of you guys keep better tracks on those than I do. Seriously? It's a water pump. All right. So, get down to it. There, volts AC, DC, and we are getting some millivoltage. Down to jack on that. It'll pick up static electricity, both of them will. Millivolts, continuity, ohm, and then as you can see, the contrast on the screen on this one is where this one does win. Simple fact. Yeah, microamps down the line, hertz. That'll do hertz as well, do bandwidth, baud width. There's the air compressor, and it will also do temperature if you have a probe. Right now it's out of limits. You can do a range test, can do a quick record on your range, say if you're pulling amperage, seeing where your amp draw is, hold function, all those things. Function wise, relatively the same as this. I think this one just has a little bit more well, we'll show you here. It's a little bit more fine-tuned. There we go. All right, so obviously we have our ignition coil, our ignition, yes, I know, it's nice and long, coil extension, and we have 4 pins in here, as you can see, pin A, B, C, and D. Now, first step on checking this, we are going to be doing it here. Let's put that to continuity. And this can be applied as well as to other ignition coils, say for like a Ford Focus or whatever the heck you might be driving that has those on their 4-bangers these days. All right, so you go from pin A to pin B, check continuity across there, and hopefully I'm not getting too much glare from the overhead. 0.8, 0.7, 0.8, that's really good. That's through the coil back through itself for your signal voltage. We're good there. Now, then pin C through the extension, down through this hole here. Oop, try not to knock stuff off to the side. Not necessarily as easy as you would think. And trying to keep it on that pin. Oh, there we go. 7.1 mega, 11.8. Oh, this is kind of a bad test. But I know that, yes, this ignition coil is bad. But it does do a little bit faster of a readout. And the extension, you want to check it that way. From one end on the top to the other, you should have less than 20 ohms. And yep, we've got 4 mega ohms. That guy's fried. Do a little bit, another test here. Go right through from C to the end of the coil on the tip. Boom, 4.39. Don't let that fool you though. This thing's got a dead spot in it somewhere, but let's try that again. Go from pin C to the tip. 4.39. There you go. Now, to save doing everything over again, I'm gonna go ahead, check continuity. Go from pin A to B, and it takes a second, and then it levels out 0.7 ohms. Now pin C to the tip. There you go. And it's not uncommon to see it do that on just about anything you check. It will give you an accurate reading. It just takes it a minute to settle itself out as it's doing as checking continuity throughout a circuit or throughout a component. And it just does that. It's not as fast at it as the Fluke is, but it does do it with pretty good accuracy. There we go, mega, and then auto limits, and then mega, and then auto limits. This thing is definitely fried. Don't worry about that. But do a little bitty check on this guy again after checking a bad ignition coil extension. So as you see, it cycles through as it's going through applying a known voltage to the circuit, which is how you check continuity, and getting your readout back. Say readout was appropriate, but it does take a little bit. Like I said, either one of these, this one is a little bit less expensive than this one. This one does have a better display contrast than this one. I mean, if you're colorblind, it probably won't matter a whole lot, but as far as, you know, they're both pretty easy to read. That one does have backlit. This one does have backlit. From the other guy, does have another one of these as well. And the big toolbox that used to be here had one as well. And good meters, don't get me wrong. Accurately priced for what you get. I think the leads, I mean, you can take any leads. You can get these leads and slap them on here all day long, and I think you'd have a nice little rig if you had that. Because I think I found these for like $27-ish or so on Amazon. Obviously, yeah, link down below like always. But if you have this meter and yeah, you're not necessarily overall enthralled with these test leads, get yourself a set of these. You won't be disappointed in these Fluke twist locks, the TL175s. They are better than these ones as far as a regular test lead goes. I mean, these ones still holding shape regardless of what you do. So if that's an issue for you, $25–30, get yourself a new set of test leads. If you're concerned about what options you might have available with this, it's still a good meter. The Fluke is just a little bit faster on the draw, and it is what it is. Very nice display on the Snap On. It will use up a battery probably a little bit quicker than this will. I replace the battery once every year on this, whether it needs it or not. And there's that frickin' water pump again. But this one, probably if you use it daily, 7 to 9 months is expected battery life on a 9-volt battery. Both take 9-volt batteries. Both come with a cover on them. This one happens to be red. The meter is thicker than this one, because yeah, the meter on here is actually only about yay big. Meter on this guy is pretty thick. They both come with a nice, decent exterior rubber cover. They'll both get the job done. Other than that, I think this one's adequately priced for what you're getting out of a multimeter on it. And this is made in South Korea. So it's not made in China. This, like I said, is made in the USA, so but you will pay a little bit more for this. $250 to $275 for this multimeter. It's not money wasted. I will say that. You won't be disappointed. On the industrial side, I do trust Fluke a little bit more. On the automotive side, you're not going to be missing out. There's the air compressor. Everything is against me today. But either way, whichever way you choose to go, you'll be happy. So there's a comparison between the two, plus another nicer video on checking ignition coils for the CNGs. So part numbers for these guys will be down below as well. I'll also probably post one of the other videos that I had for them for the CNG tip of the week. So there we have it, guys. Which one do you guys might have? You might have one or the other. Maybe you've got a Greenlee. By all means, leave your comments down below. If there's something you like about whatever meter you do use, put it down below. If there's one of these two that you happen to prefer, or just by watching this video gives you an idea of which one you would prefer, leave that down there as well. I mean, let's keep a topic of discussion going. There's a few people out there, like Yoda Doug was curious about this on how these kind of compare, because he's seen these around on eBay and a few other marketplaces. And I think if it's in good shape and it's if you can get it one for a decent price that hasn't been dropped, or one that works, needless to say, get a decent price on one of those, won't be bad. One of these, I don't know what these sell for on eBay. I couldn't tell you, not on the used side. Amazon's got a pretty good price on them. There's a few other electrical suppliers out there, some wholesalers like Republic, that will also be able to get a pretty decent price on this, between the $370 to $390 to $400 mark. And I paid $400 for this 6 years ago, and so hasn't gone down in price for obvious reasons. It is what it is. They haven't really upgraded that particular model all that much. But this guy, like I said, for what it runs you, it'll come with a little bitty case. It'll come with a couple of little bitty caps to screw on the test leads. If I had this, I'd just get rid of the test leads and get some better test leads. That's just me. But meter-wise, it'll work. It's not as fast as I like after using the Fluke, but I can still use this on you know, an industrial live voltage 3-phase, and I won't worry. This, I don't know. If I was to hook this set to like a live 600 volt panel or something, and you know, if something was phasing out and I'm checking voltage through a fuse the size of a, you know, spray can, literally, I don't know how I would feel. I think it should hold up. So Cat 2, Cat 3 600 volts. I'd be careful with the amperage. So it only goes to Cat 2, Cat 3. Says right there. Versus Cat 4 rated. This will handle the amperage a little better. So there you have it, guys. Sorry this one went on a little bit longer, but you know, I think it was some good points to go over, one versus the other. And either way, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. off the truck or get a good used one that does still work, should be able to last you for quite a while. And either one of these two you won't be disappointed in. If you've got like a Greenlee or a Klein or whatever, by all means, let's get some good threads, discussion threads going down below on these guys, and let everybody else know what we think about the ones that we've been using. Here's the ones that, you know, I've been able to use. So anyways, we'll catch y'all later. Remember, shop safety is just as important as firearm safety. You screw something up, somebody could die. Peace.